Ooh, you are listening to Keith Price's Curtain Call. All right, so this isn't this. We're all having a new moment right now, which is what a part of the tea is. I'm gonna tell you.
Ooh, new moments.
This is new, okay? Because again, you know how much I love me some theater, y'all. This is where we're at, and I am actually hanging out with two of my favorite people. I have actually had the opportunity to get to know them a little bit better than most, so they're really actually kind of friends of mine now, and I love that. And they are about to do the Lincoln Center Songbook series and turn it out. I just heard a sample. I'm very, very excited to introduce all of you to, you ready for this? 2-time Tony Award nominee, Andy Karl. How about that?
How are you doing? Thank you for that little
Thank
shout
you.
out.
That. And his gorgeous, hot Miss Thing wife, Tony nominee. Single. But that, you know what, honey? They got to say it every time they come. They bring you to Miss Orfeh. How are you, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic.
There's no kind of friends. There's no kind of friends in this.
I love that. No, because we don't all, y'all got y'all stuff going on. I don't want to be all up in your business and stuff. But you guys are about to take part in this fantastic series that Lincoln Center seems to do every season. Yes. How did you guys get involved? Who got the phone call first?
You know what, we were asked. They came to us. We were really happy that happened. We weren't expecting it at all. And they came to us, and it was really just about figuring out the schedule. And it was a very specific time. They wanted us for the American Songbook series, which always takes place at the same time every year. So they asked us a while back, and it was just a matter of coordinating it, and there was no way we were going to say no. Absolutely. So that's how it happened. They came to us, thankfully. All
right. I love that. And how about you, mister? Because, Andy is very busy right now. I don't know how he can tear himself away from the mean streets of New York City on my favorite Law & Order SVU. How has it been trying to balance all of this with rehearsals with that and rehearsals for this?
Law & Order is great. It's a lot of hours on set and everything, but I'm finding my little moments to get away for the weekend and rehearse and do with my wife, which is no problem at all. It's kind of like the fun time. It's like a paid vacation almost. So that's it, just fitting in where we can, and we've been doing really well. And, I think they asked us because Lincoln Center asked us to do this because I finally, got as famous as my wife.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I got up to her level.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why he's the TV star.
Right. You know what? Whatever. It's all right. You know what? Because the one thing about the two of you that I love is, and I remember when I first met you guys years ago, is that y'all are already a team. Yeah. So whatever happens for one is just as good as if it happens to the other. Yeah. So this is really a great thing, right?
It's true, and I'm always very baffled, and I say this really honestly and genuinely. I'm always baffled when people say that that's not the experience they have with couples. Like, we have the same agent. We have the same people around us. And a lot of agencies won't do that because there's apparently this bizarre competition between couples. And I'm thinking, that dollar's coming into the same house.
Hello.
So whomever's making that dollar, and as long as you're supportive, it for me, and I say this on the red carpet every time Andy gets a Tony nomination, which is now multiple times, every time they ask me, I'm like, I literally couldn't be happier if it was happening for me.
Right.
It's more of a joy and a glory to be able to vicariously have the thrill because I'm not, there's no pressure on me. I just get to be full out cheerleader, full out, just overwhelmed with joy because he works so hard. You know what I mean? This isn't like, hey, I woke up and my parents were my managers and my uncle was in the, music business and this happened. He's just, he did it the old-fashioned way. Came to New York, worked his butt off, and here he is.
I love it. And now for you, though, mister, this is kind of like, I think in the end, this is really great because the roles that you've been nominated are just one of many that you've actually been able to do. I've seen you originate roles. I've seen you walk into roles. I've seen you do just about every damn thing that you can possibly do to get on a fucking stage in this town. And I think it's paying off. Do you feel a sense of vindication? Not necessarily that you were coming out that way, but I mean, do you feel like, okay, this work is paying off? Like the work now that I put into this is equaling now the kind of work that I'm being offered.
Yeah, that's the wonderful part of it. It just took some time for people to, I guess, recognize, or for me to get to a position where people would want to hire me. But now the pressure's on to keep doing that good stuff and keep involved, and it makes me work even harder now because I want to do everything. I want to do what I'm doing, but like the real great stuff is the fact that Orfeh and I can get on a stage together and sort of rock out in our own way and show people sort of a personal side of ourselves. Like we'll work and we'll do, characters and somebody else's material, that kind of stuff. Now we're sort of doing our own thing. So I feel like this is a great opportunity to show who we are in that sense and sort of share that love.
That's Andy Karl and, two-time Tony nominee Andy Karl and Tony nominee Orfeh sitting with me here on what is now new Keith Price's Curtain Call. Yeah. Now. And we're actually, they're in the middle of preparing themselves for their link. Perpetrating. No, you're not perpetrating, honey, because the voices are for real. Okay,
we're
percolating. Now, again, so how much of the material did you guys get to choose? All of the material that you're using?
Absolutely, all of it. It was our, with Charles Randolph Wright, the director of the show, who you all might know from a little musical called Motown.
Hello.
Yeah. So he's in London right now, actually promoting the Motown in London,
right.
Which is crazy. It's phenomenal. And it was our vision of what we thought, our staunch fans would want to hear, staunch musical theater fans would want to hear, myself being myself is not proper, but me being a huge R&B fan, I wanted to do some of the songs that I love. Andy wanted to do some of the songs he loved, and we wanted to make sure that everyone walked away satisfied with getting a little bit of something they were hoping to hear that night. You know what I'm saying? So we came up with the song list.
I love that. Now, for you, Andy, when you went to make the choices, how hard was it for you to just go, okay, we have enough songs. I want this, but I can't squeeze this in. How hard is it to basically cut away the babies?
It was interesting, a song choice. I mean, we're known as the powerhouse Broadway couple, but Orfeh's the power. I'm the house. So,
all right.
That's it's interesting. Like the songs sound really good on the combination. Finding songs that sound good with the combination of our voices, things that we can get away with, things that we're like, she'll blow me away if I don't have a microphone, is all I'm saying. So that's it's part of that, but also part of the theme of our show, which is really about us and our love and sort of part of our lives and the fact that we're together for 15 years. We just had our 15th year anniversary on January. So it's coming right around that time. It's coming around Valentine's Day. So the concert's just after Valentine's Day. So there's a lot of love going on. So picking the songs that were right in that element, and also keeping it really fun and keeping it really entertaining, and also showing off what we do. It was I think we made some good choices. I can't wait for people to hear it.
I think it's going to be great because that's February 20th, I believe it is, at 8:30 at Lincoln Center in the Appel Room, which is actually in the Time Warner building that gives you this gorgeous backdrop of New York City.
The worst that could happen, people just stare at the view. If they hate the show, they're going to enjoy the view because it's just the most beautiful view of any room that you could get to perform in. There's a window, a floor-to-ceiling window.
Of you get all of New York. You get this wonderful moment of being at the end of Central Park. And
it's crazy.
Great night out.
It's going to be a great night out. Yeah. So now for you guys at this point now, I know just because, the stories broke last week that Andy is going to be going to the West End to open a brand new musical that's Broadway bound, Groundhog's Day, based on the movie that had Bill Murray in it.
Groundhog Day.
How did you get yanked into that madness?
I guess, there's Matthew Warchus and Tim Minchin are the creative teams on this. Scott Rudin's producing. There was talk about coming into audition for them a while back, and I just got involved with SVU. I wasn't sure about it, so I was shooting SVU, and I was like, I just can't do it right now. But I think they went through the rounds, and finally they sort of talked me into coming on audition, and they gave me the material, and the material is really great. And then here's this great part of that has a great arc from being, a real sort of miserable human being in the beginning and ending up sort of enlightened and living through Groundhog Day. And I think it's a great character to focus on, but also a great story to tell. And Tim Minchin's music is just kind of insane. So it's a great opportunity, and to go to the West End for 4 months and experience that, which I've never done. There's a lot of new things that are going to be happening, so including this concert, SVU, Groundhog Day. I'm just trying to stay on top of it and try to do a really good job.
Well, I would assume that you have a team that's helping keeping that in order, right?
Yeah, the team. Yeah, it's like absolutely the agents are looking out, everybody's looking out and trying to figure out what's the next greatest move. And this one came down to a really good personal choice because I had done theater. I'd actually, after 20th Century, which was a terrific show, I thought.
Which he got his second Tony nomination.
Yes,
thank you.
I also thought, I think I've fulfilled a lot of things that I want to fulfill. It's going to take something very special to jump back into theater for as far as musicals as well. And this one just sort of fell right in my lap, and I was like, wow, I have to see it through, and so it's gonna happen. I'm going to go to the West End.
Love that. It's two-time Tony nominee Andy Karl. I'm gonna keep saying it. Don't get mad. Don't hate. Because there's some bitches out there that wish they were feeling that. I'm just saying. Because I'll throw out some names that ain't got nothing behind them, but that's another story. We're here with me on Keith Price's Curtain Call, and I'm talking with not only two-time Tony nominee Andy Karl, but his lovely, fantastic, fantabulous wife, Tony nominee Ms. Orfeh. Now, for you, Ms. Orfeh, girl, you know that every now and then you will get a text from me because it's me and my partner sitting around playing dream casting. And every time we do it, we go, oh, my God, this would be perfect for Orfeh. And then I'll text you, Orfeh goes, yeah, well, I heard about that, but we're not doing that. And I'm like, when are we going to get Orfeh back on Broadway? That's what I want to know.
No, I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's going to have to be when, Paulette was so the perfect. I played Annette and then I played Paulette and a lot of stuff in between, and they're kind of all microcosmically the same person in a way, and they perform the same service in the show. Like Annette was the Paulette of Saturday Night Fever. Right. Pippi was the Paulette of Trailer Park. I kind of feel like I've done that character. I ushered in that kind of genre insofar as I've done as much as I can do in that capacity, and I have had many opportunities where I would basically again be fulfilling that function in a show, and I don't know that hasn't been beaten to death at this point. I'm happy to. I'm one of those artists is like, give the people what they want. I'm not, esoteric and like, oh, I want to expand my wings. I would love to, but I don't. Yeah, I want to be. It's not about that. It's just that at some point you want your audience to grow with you, and for them to understand that that's not all you have going on. You know what I'm saying? Right. Which is why I wind up doing a lot of indie films for $1.50 that most people are never going to see, because at least if someone does see them, they're going to go, oh, I didn't know she could do this. I didn't know she could play that kind of a character.
Life of an Actress.
Life of an Actress. A more popular indie that I just did was Sleeping with the Fishes with Gina Rodriguez, who became a superstar literally a week after we wrapped the movie. She literally became a Golden Globe winner. And that's a very, very different character for me. Yes, she's broad and she's weird, but it's very different than a sweet Paulette. You know what I mean? And I think that if the Broadway powers that be, could figure out where to put me other than in that role, or figured out that maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to let me play opposite my husband now and again.
Oh, because that was part of the dream casting conversation that we had, because I believe it was Moonstruck. That was the first one. Yes. If they make the musical with you being Loretta, and this one doing the Nicolas Cage remake. And then the other one was when they were talking revivals. We said that Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with you as Mona, and this one is the sheriff. Ba-boom. Daryl Roth, where the hell are you, right?
Oh, Daryl Roth, I love. She's a dear, 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 dear friend of mine. I keep trying to get her to adopt me into the Roth clan. But yeah, I know, but it seems like, with Andy, they have three people in mind to put aside, to put opposite him. And, I can't fight that fight all the time. They kind of have to understand that, again, you give the people what they want, and the people want to see us together, so much so that we're doing it roundabout way at this point. You know what I'm saying? And, I couldn't have played Kristen's part in 20th Century. That was a part literally made for her skill set, and it couldn't have been better, and she's one of my dearest friends, and they had the best time. But from this point on, it would so be nice if we were playing opposite each other, but in any genre, on television, in indies, and, you know, on stage in concerts. It's not that I'm reluctant to do Broadway again, that at all. I just feel like there has to be a forward motion to it, as opposed to like, oh, look, she's playing that character again. Wow, didn't know she could do that. You know,
and you know what? And I think that's the tragedy, and at the same time the great fortune of being able to play kinds of roles like that. Because the fact of the matter is, when that role comes along, they'll say, "Well, what is Orfeh doing?" And then that's great.
And there are times that I've lost that role. Like in the recent years that have come along, that role has been brought to my attention, and I've not gotten it. So I'm like, if I'm losing those roles for whatever reason, then there's something wrong, and I now have to think outside the box, because those are not roles I should ever lose for any reason, and they go a different type, they go a different, you know, ethnicity for, you know, but then I can't fight that. You know what I'm saying? So if they're going into a place where they now want to cast a certain type in those roles, then it isn't going to be me. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm the first obvious choice, and then they suddenly go, well, maybe this person would be, you know, so then I have to find a new niche. Where
you know what?
It goes the full circle again.
Well, I tell you what, I think that over the course of this particular concert that's coming up on February 20th at Lincoln Center at the Appel Room, actually within the Time Warner Center for Lincoln Center Jazz, with you and your 2-time Tony-nominated husband, Andy Karl, I really feel like at this point people are going to get to have this moment with you guys. It's going to be kind of intimate, although it's a beautiful room, but it's going to be really nice to be able to just have the two of you. And I think that maybe when people see that and see it in a much more intimate, much more real setting, then it will allow them to think outside the box, maybe when it comes to seeing the two of you together doing other things.
The reason we're doing this concert is just, you know, we have such a good time working together that when we put the power in the house together, I'll bring that back, it becomes something very special. It becomes something where it's like being in our living room, so to speak. We do get up and dance for each other every now and again, just going crazy. So it gives that sort of silliness, but also, like, you know, being able to sort of just collaborate on certain things. The harmonies that we're doing, we know each other's voices over 15 years. Like, how does that all blend together? It blends very well, better than anything, really.
I love it. Well, you guys, I'm telling you, I'm planning on being there, and I'm going to be excited because I don't know what else is on the song list, but let me just tell you, I just got a taste and a little rehearsal of what they got going on. It's going to be very cute. So for you people, if you have time, this is your opportunity to get to New York City. If you're coming to New York and you want to see something different, want to enjoy something fun, want to have a special, intimate kind of theatrical.
There are 10 tickets left, so
pow, bitches. So in other words, y'all late. Fuck all of y'all then. That's how this is going.
There's only handicap seating, so make sure you bring a wheelchair.
You got to bring a prop. And again,
don't be shady now. We're gonna be fierce.
they're gonna be fierce. But again,
fierce handicap.
Oh, work! I can't with the two of you. So, but again, if you're coming to New York City and you can get one of those 10 tickets that's left, then this is the show for you to go see. If you can't, then you need to get online and go order Orfeh's album off of her website. Orfeh,
It's on iTunes. Orfeh, what do you want?
What do you want from me? And Andy, of course, you can hear him on several cast recordings as well. I can't even talk to him because it's too much for me right now. I can't, people. The 2-time Tony nominee, Andy Karl, and Tony nominee, Miss Orfeh. Thank you guys for taking time for me on my first curtain call of hopefully more to come. Yes.